Hey, Kendra Haynes here from theresourcefulmarketer.com, where no leads, no lists, no sales, no authority, and no, well, I guess that I messed that up. So try it again. No leads, no lists, no sales, no authority are no problem. And today is just a recap of week one. As you know, I'm on this 90-day journey to go ahead and build a $15,000 a month income by October 10th. Now, I officially started July 10th, and then there were all these other moving pieces that I had to get like my head wrapped around. And I did the first video, and you can check the link up above for what the 4 questions I had to answer before I started this whole project off, you know? First, I had to identify my goal, and we know that's $15,000 a month by, October 10th. That was number 1. Number 2 is what business model was I going to use, and I chose affiliate marketing, and the vehicle for that is listed on the screen with the Super Affiliate Network, based on the fact that there are low-level entry informational products that actually go through and teach you marketing basics. There's advanced courses that are at a higher ticket point, and then there is like done for you, done with you services that are, kind of expensive. But if you've gone from beginning to middle, expertise to, I really want to leverage this and move this to a multiple 6-7 figure business, then it makes sense to spend 12 grand on a three-day intensive where you're getting work with, you're creating videos, you're doing webinars, you're doing all the things that we're leveraging as affiliates that we haven't had to create yet. So for me, I'm just starting on the other end of it, and I went in middle ground with Pro. Now it's a little healthier investment, but I get a little bit more help, I get a little bit more coaching, and more information to implement and go ahead and test. Now, with that said, there were some errors. First things first, when we're looking at the dates in the back office for the statistics, you see that this was the week of 7/15, which was that Sunday, to the following Sunday of 7/22. During that time, I generated 77 leads, and it was based off of 340 clicks to the web pages, and it was 22.6% conversion, which is really low because what you're trying to do is go ahead and get at least 40% conversion to get, from clicks to leads. And part of that is probably the traffic source. And that's something that I have to take a look at for the next round. So first things first, I did take action. I didn't do all the steps. I missed a couple, but I still generated leads. Now with this, I did not put them on my, and I didn't have an autoresponder set up. This went straight to the company thing. And that's one of the things that if you're trying to become a super affiliate, which I am, then you have to do a couple pieces that I missed out on this week. And actually the next week, so to speak. I didn't get until week 3 where I did the right thing. And that was after meeting with my coach, showing her what I had done, and moving on from there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the leads list. So this goes into my leads, which is, the follow-up is being done by the company. And it's just, that's cool. But to become a super affiliate and become a person who other folks know, like, and trust, I'm going to have to get uncomfortable and make, some thank you videos, get in front of the video more like I'm doing here. But For a first week, 77 leads that are still getting followed up with isn't bad, but there were no sales during those weeks, right? That's kind of painful. So when you go back to the original tab, yeah, I got 77 leads, which are, I started with zero. So, hey, 0 to 77 after 7 days, a little bit more than 10 leads a day. That's pretty cool, especially if you haven't been doing anything with it. And we'll go ahead and talk more about that. But the company pages were this one here. And it's really not much different than this one. It's just the background. And they've been testing this, and even with a traffic source that wasn't perfect for this particular offer, I still got some traction. So there's a couple of things that I can do that I did in week 3 that we'll take a deep dive into. But week 1 was kind of tough. Week 2 is kind of tough too, in the sense that when I come back into, let's see, what was that? What's the next week? July 29th. So if I go, there it goes. So if I go from, say, the 22nd, well, I should have done that the 15th. So I'm going to go 15th through the 21st to get, like that Sunday to Saturday update. So you'll see how many leads were there. I'm pretty sure it was 77 anyway. Yeah. Because, traffic wasn't running. But based on that, I had a 23.1% conversion because it's one less day. So the next week it's 722 to 728, and when I get the update there from the same traffic source, I picked up another 116 leads. Again, the visits increased because there was more traffic coming in. There was more leverage, a little bit more money, but it's a fixed dollar amount, and it's with traffic token, and the link is down below but it's like, before you do anything with it, I'm actually running more traffic with it, but with a couple of changes in the flow of how it goes. I have a personalized follow-up sequence that I had to write on my own, but I have some examples of that too for the email marketing resources, where you can put things in your own voice and get examples of what's working. And they're all free resources, which is awesome. But for week 1, 77 leads. Week 2, 116 leads. And I believe I turned off the traffic as of, let's see, the 29th. I might have a couple of more things in there. So if I go 29th through the 4th, let's see what we got. I still had 75 leads. So I was running it up until, let's see, I was running it up until, let me see what the 4th does. It might have been the 3rd, y'all. Not sure. So if I turn, let's go 18 to the 4th. Let's see what it did. 51 leads there. Okay, 2. Because I know I turned it off because I had to build some stuff. I got 22, so we're still going on the 2nd through the 4th. Let's see what happened on the 3rd. 1 lead. So I had turned it off on the 3rd. And it should be, if I did get that 1 lead, is probably me, because I was testing the new funnel. Yeah, it was me. Because there was no traffic running on the other one. So yeah, so even though I didn't turn off traffic or pause traffic until the 3rd, let me take off the 4th and just go to the 3rd. Let's do that. So 74 leads in that amount of time off of 347 visits. Again, that conversion rate, I'm looking for something a little bit higher. So I'm going to have to play with a couple of things. Because, part of the reason for the lower conversion, it could be that because it is an affiliate product, that people are seeing it. Maybe the people that are mailing for that have already mailed this particular offer, so they're their view of it is, people seeing it, it's nothing new, right? But there's a few people out there on that list that hasn't seen it, so that's a problem. So I'm going to have to make sure before I turn traffic on again to ask a few questions, especially if you're doing a solo ad. And the whole thing with solo ads is you're only paying for actual clicks to your offer. So there's a couple of things that you can do to make sure that these things are dialed in for you. The first question is, I believe, what was the lockdown? Because there's 5 questions and I know I've written them down somewhere, but I don't have them in front of me right now, which makes me very, very sad for you. Let me see if I can find that document. Oh my goodness. Goodness. But as I go through this and find this, it's a lot of people, knock solo ad traffic because, they get to a place where they say, well, it doesn't convert. But if you're doing the right things and you're asking the right questions, one of which is, hey, are you mailing for this particular company? Have you sent this offer out to your list? And if so, wait a couple weeks before you use that vendor, because it's something that they've already done relatively recently, which will decrease your conversion rate, which is what you're seeing right here, right? Not that it's a bad source, it's just, it could be fatigued because they've seen the offer before. So that would be a problem. The next thing is basically, are you getting top tier traffic? What percentage of that is top tier traffic? And by top tier traffic, I mean English speaking countries that have a tendency to purchase particular items that are geared towards business improvement, tools, systems, trainings, things of that nature. So you're looking at Canada, New Zealand, Great Britain, Australia, the US. These are the big 5. And if most of your traffic is coming from this area, then it's going to improve that 21% that I'm seeing there. And it's one of those things that you have to ask about because you're spending your money. The other thing is, I think the second thing is asking if you can send your email swipe copy. And what that means is it keeps your ad congruent. Like if this is your headline that's coming up on the next page, then everything in that email should be selling the click to open up to this landing page. And it's like, hey, that email should speak to people that want a proven system for making money online, right? And even if they're brand new, which is most of us watching the video here, and on a shoestring budget, because affiliate marketing for beginners is tough because there's a lot of information out there. And if someone can give you a proven system to go ahead and make money, why wouldn't you take a look at it, right? But in order to get a qualified click, your email copy that the solo ad provider is sending out should match this message, right? So the email that gets that person to click over should match the landing page that they're going to see. If there is a disconnect between the two, then that person's not going to click through and give you their name and email address, or even just their email address, because it doesn't match with what was in the email that was sent out. So those are a couple of things that have to be addressed as well. And then finally, at the end of it, it's can you have that conversation with the vendor who is providing, solo ad clicks for you? Hey, can I get a 10%, 20% discount on this? Because if this works out, I'm going to come back to you because I want to scale up and build my list. So those are things that I had to learn, during week 2 and week 3. But even without that, if you go from when I actually started marketing, the offer to, let's see, 7/15 until August 3rd, that's a total of 267 leads. Now take out 3 of those because 3 of those were me testing out funnels. So that's 264 leads in the period of 3 weeks. I was able to get 1,200 clicks through, but my conversion rate, as you can see, is really low. And there's some things that I'm going to have to address in the following week, which was week 3 when I made the change. So now it's just understanding these things so you don't get frustrated and you don't give up and you're like, well, I spent this money, I didn't get a whole lot of leads, I didn't make any sales, and that's okay. The fact is, you're just gonna troubleshoot what's going on for you. You know what I mean? So my conversion rate's low. What can I do to help improve that? Well, one, it's guaranteed that the service provider or the person that I'm purchasing clicks from hasn't mailed my offer to their list recently. And if they have, then I hold off for a couple of weeks before I, circle back around to ask them to send my offer. The other thing is making sure that the email that they send out to their list matches the landing page that you're sending them to. When these things match, it's called congruency. So if you're getting clicks and then they don't convert on the other page, it's because there's a disconnect and it's not matching what got them to click all the way through. Because each piece of this puzzle, you have an email, right, that goes out, and the whole purpose of the email is to sell the click, right? I know you hate to hear sell, but it is what it is. It's like, hey, this email is designed to have you click through to the next piece, which is your landing page. Your landing page, if it's matching the email message that got them to click through, will have them click through and give them your email address. And each time they make a little click or take a little action, this is something that they're invested in. They want to see what's on the other side of it, right? And if the company that you're using to I guess build your bank account with the affiliate product, if they're worth their salt, then their sales letter is going to sell that final click for you and get you the sale. However, if they're new to you, there's a step that you need to put in there before you, after you get their email address and before you send them to that sales page, and that's what they call a bridge page, right? Or the thank you page. The thank you page that introduces you as the person sharing this really good information with them. And I hadn't built that piece out, and I didn't build it out until later, which was week 3. And I haven't turned on the traffic for that because during that time I had to write an email sequence, right? I had to make sure my bridge page was in place, and I had to test it to make sure everything was going okay. But I also had to make sure that I had tracking for it. So if I can't track where my clicks are coming from, how can I, say, hey, how can I feel secure in the fact that this person has given me all the clicks that they said they were going to give me, and they're coming from tier 1 countries like they said they were going to send them to me from. If I don't have this tracking piece in place, it'll be a problem. But I don't want that to be a problem for you. So again, after the first 2 weeks of running traffic through the third, I had 264 leads, because remember, 3 of those were me making tests, having tests in there. So other than that, it's like, man, that's a pretty big deal. I have 264 people on my list that I now can communicate with. Granted, there are other things that I could have done better, but I've taken action, and I have a list now where I had no leads and no list before. Now I do. Now I'm working on building that authority and helping this group of people get to where they want to be, right? But it's going to take some work on my part and some consistency to get them to that place. If you've liked this video, because this is all I have to say on the week 1 and 2 for this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button below, because I'm going to be bringing these videos to you every week. I had a little bit of a hiccup. Mom got bronchitis, had to stop, take care of her, and I still had some work stuff to do. You already know that. But I have to, that's another thing, working on my schedule to get everything in place. It's tough building that ritual and that routine and knowing what that looks like. But if you want to see me go ahead and build it out and show you what I'm doing on a daily basis as I build momentum, go ahead and hit the subscribe link below. And when you do, look for the little bell, click on it, because that's going to notify you every time I make a new video. Other than that, the tools and the checklist that I had for the week in terms of what to do when you're sending out your traffic, and some of the tools that I'm using are going to be listed in the links below. One will be for resources. One will be for, what did I say? what I'm going to fix, or what I have fixed as far as week 3 goes, and some of the tools that I've used to help build that out. Other than that, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, late night, whenever time you're watching this video, and I will see you on the other side. Have a great one.